Rams in Provo, a hot commodity tonight. It's BYU's home opener, hosting an SEC team for the first time. Mississippi State's journey to Cougar country in LaVell Edwards' final season. Jackie Sherrill not feeling too sentimental tonight.
For 29 years, LaVell Edwards has prowled BYU sidelines. Now the Dogs of Mississippi State are fresh on the scent of a Cougars team struggling to make Edwards' last season special. Then Saturday, the SEC heats up. Tennessee is looking for a volunteer at quarterback. And Alex Brown in Florida looking for Gator bait. Rudy Johnson has helped Auburn restore the roar. Now Nick Saban's LSU Tigers look to earn their stripes. Last week, the luck of the Irish ran out. They lost the war and their battle. Now they brace for Drew Brees. And the Bruins have already dampened Bama's season. Now they eye third-ranked Michigan. College football tonight, next.
To visit Provo, Bulldogs' longest road trip in 20 years almost, but they'll get no sympathy from LaVell Edwards. It's been a long, punishing road in his final season at BYU, and now a short week to get ready for Joe Lee Dunn and that posse. With more on the legacy that LaVell will leave behind, we go out to Provo and our Dr. Jerry Punch. Doc, good evening.
Well, good evening, Chris. Thank you very much. You know, when the Cougars kick it off here tonight in their home opener, it will mark the beginning of the end for one of college football's coaching icons. You know, what more can you say about 69-year-old LaVell Edwards that hasn't already been said, except for the fact that in his 29 years at the head of the Brigham Young program, he has totally changed the perception of this program, both on and off the playing field.
Looking back on my career, I think there's one thing that probably stands out above all is that football is now a presence at BYU. Game day is a major happening. It wasn't always that way before. And that was one of the reasons why I got into the passing game, because I just felt like we needed to do something different.
BYU started to throw the football a lot. You know, they were world famous for passing back when everybody was running the wishbone. But LaVell was throwing the ball every down.
He had the intuitiveness to say, hey, we got to stick with it. And then from that time on, it just flourished. I mean, it went crazy. And then at one time, I think we had a string of 4 or 5 All-American quarterbacks, and it's just been unbelievable.
The expectations were so high, I got way more out of myself than I ever would have thought was possible because of those expectations, because of the guys that came before me. When you talk about college football, history of college football, you can't write it without talking about BYU quarterbacks. That's kind of cool.
He was the least critical man that I've been around in terms of coaching. Everything was always upbeat.
He's been successful because he's been consistent over the years. His coordinators have come and gone, but the system pretty much stays the same, and I think that's a real key to a good head coach.
His coaching skills sometimes are underrated, but as a human being, that's where he separates himself. He's a genuinely caring and loving human being. And a lot of times you don't necessarily see that in the coaching ranks.
As I tell them each year that if this is going to be of any real value to them, then what they will do is take these same principles and apply them to all phases of their life when they leave the playing field, and they have a chance to be equally successful there.
Before, I thought football was everything. I needed to do football, sleep, drink, and eat football and do it all. And he taught me that there's other things in life that I need to be also concerned about.
I left for college. My dad passed me off to LaVell. And LaVell took me for 4 years and made me a decent human being, and I'm appreciative of that.
You got to realize in your own mind, vision, I guess, if you will, that you can become something.
He always knew that you had way more than you realized, and he was able to bring it out in me. And I mean, without LaVell Edwards, I don't play football. I don't really learn half the great lessons I've learned in my life.
If coaches are teachers, then this one taught every subject, not just the X's and O's of the game or how to win the close ones in the fourth quarter, but how to put it all in perspective, how to look at the big picture in terms of the priorities in life, which are faith, family, and then football. Yes, LaVell Edwards won on the playing field, but he best be remembered for what he did for this program, for the players, and for college football. For all three, he brought character and dignity. And Lee Corso, LaVell Edwards has done so much for so many over the past 29 years.
You know, Doc, I've known Jerry, I've known LaVell Edwards for a long time. And when I think of him, I think of unquestioned integrity. And what you see is what you get. Kirk, he's one of the best qualified people, human beings I've ever met in and out of coaching. Terrific guy.
Class act, but they got to play the game tonight. And, you know, Jackie Sherrill's going to be looking at this as an opportunity for his team to go out there and be very, very good on defense. That's the challenge tonight for BYU. They have a young quarterback, inexperienced, first collegiate start tonight, and it's tough because he's going up against a defense that was #1 in all of college football a year ago. Talked to Fred Smoot and some of their players. They think they're better this year. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep an eye on Charlie Peterson as he makes his first start.
Well, you know, speaking of Mississippi State's defense, they forced 5 turnovers in the opener against Memphis in 75 snaps. On the other side of the ball, BYU, 3 games, 1 turnover, and 221 snaps. I think that could be the difference. Chris Fowler, Kirk and I want you to know you just heard some serious football talk from Provo, Utah.
After Kirk just stepped on that warm, fuzzy sentiment and said, look out, Lavelle, here comes Mississippi State. You guys get some sleep on the red eye. Don't watch the movie. You get some sleep on the red eye tonight. We'll see you in Knoxville. We'll talk more football ahead as we count down to Lavelle and Jackie at the top of the hour here. More football after this. 3 points against MAC teams, and now his first road game, his first test, and they hope Purdue's first win at Notre Dame since 1974. That's 11 straight losses. First time he's going to face man-to-man. He really hadn't had a glove laid on him so far this year. But how much does the Irish defense have left? How much do they have left emotionally? What about the quarterback situation where Gary Godsey replaces Battle? He was recruited by Purdue as a quarterback, but he's basically a tight end. These are all very good questions.
You say that, and a lot of people think that he's a tight end, but he's a 6'7" quarterback that was recruited by Ohio State and Purdue. Now, some coaches tried to move him to tight end. He said, no, I don't want any of this tight end. I'm a quarterback. He now has his chance. When Arnez Battle found out he was injured, Arnez Battle and Grant Iron stopped over to his room and said, we believe in you. Now, he has to drop back, throw the football, play action passes, power running game. They got a shot.
No, all he has to do is turn around and hand the ball off.
Rod, it's either going to be another movie at Notre Dame or nightmare.
Well, if he does the right thing, which is turn around and hand the ball off, then Notre Dame may do well. They will play smash mouth, and why not? They've played it against Purdue the last couple of seasons. Watch the fullback lead here. Watch the crushing block right up the middle. Notre Dame has had its way with Purdue running the ball on the ground, and Brock Spath, the defensive coordinator, he knows it, and he's going to expect it. He's going to put about 8 guys in the box. He's going to make John Navarre prove, Chris, that he can throw the ball down the field in order to beat Purdue.
You mean Godsey?
Or whatever. Whatever. Make a name for yourself.
Navarre's going to be throwing it downfield against your UCLA
Navarre's somewhere else now.
All right. The good news is the Irish fans will not be outnumbered in their own stadium. They're not going to sell off the tickets. Speaking of new quarterbacks, Charlie Peterson from BYU. Ouch. Look out. Here comes the Bulldogs and Josie Dunn tonight.
They set up a pick play right there to allow him. That's Wilbur Hooks, number 7, blocking off his man. One-on-one coverage, block off the guy, get Jeremy Stevens free for a touchdown. This is a State's
bowl hopes this year, and also for Paterno's chance of getting that record. Scary wide receivers on the Pittsburgh side, but a lack of balance there. And Southern Miss Allen's had 1 catch for 1 yard against Vanderbilt. Inspiration. BYU.
A lock on those corners.
We'll be here at halftime as part of Sports Center in-game. Is Provo ready for Pig Prather and Smoot Smack? Are they ready for Corso, Herbstreit, Punch, and Mike Tirico? Guys?
All right, Chris, an unseasonably mild night for the BYU home opener. The first time Provo has welcomed an SEC team. Jackie Sherrill's 10 years in Starkville have been defined by a simple formula he learned from the Bear. A physical attack that thrives on opportunity and emotion. After 29 years of All-Americas, bowl games, league and national titles, Lavelle Edwards is finally stepping down. The aerial attack that has defined Cougar Nation will be stiffly tested tonight. And 60,000 strong, they welcome the BYU Cougars in a tough spot and an important game. Mississippi State BYU kicks off from beautiful Provo in 60 seconds. Bell built the retiring BYU coach his final home opener, but his team is trying to avoid a rare 1-3 start without 2/3 of the starting backfield facing a tough and physical, nasty Mississippi State defense. Welcome to the start of the college football weekend. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Jerry Punch on the sidelines in a second. Guys, we've seen it with our own eyes the last few years. Mississippi State's earned its reputation, one of the best defenses in the nation. Take them. A short week for BYU. Herbie, this is not the spot for a quarterback to get his first college start.
No, it's not. You know, you think of BYU football over the years, you think of talented quarterbacks throwing the football all over the place. Well, this year BYU has two talented quarterbacks. Sophomore Brett Engelman has taken most of the snaps in their first 3 games, but he's down with an ankle injury. So as Mike mentioned, Charlie Peterson will get his first collegiate start. He's a junior. He's had some reps. He's seen the field before. If you remember back in the opener against Florida State, Peterson got out there and saw a very good Florida State defense, so he has some experience. But tonight against Mississippi State, they will attack him and they will pressure him and confuse him quite a bit. It's going to be interesting to see how he sits back in that pocket and how he responds to all that pressure and intimidation.
Intimidation, my friend. That's a key word when you describe Mississippi State's defense. They can talk, too. Dr. Punch, Mississippi State can play defense. The question is, do they have an offense?
Exactly, Coach.
Blue sky, we can't see a cloud for miles, and the temperature's over 90, so it will be warm, but it's a dry 90. It's not that humid out here. Should not affect either team this evening. In the shadows of the Wasatch Mountains, Owen Potchman, the senior from the state of Washington, will kick it off for BYU at 1-2. Coming off an 8-point loss at Air Force on Saturday. The short turnaround for them, Mississippi State beat Memphis 17-3. They've been off for a dozen days. To an E goes Pink Prague.
Former safety, Jared Lee, you see the leader at the free safety, but both the corners have caused problems. And here in the passing down, let's see how they respond.
A long 3 to pick up. Matkin and Mississippi State were not very good in these situations in week 1. Option with Miller. First down. And it's still going. DeCenzo Miller knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard, and Paul Peterson a return to the 17-yard line. The speed of the game will change right now because of what Mississippi State does on defense. Here's Charlie Peterson, his last start, Utah's Bingham High School, 1994. The other 10 with him on the BYU offense. The AXA lineups include McDonald, an inside runner who starts with the injured Luke Staley. Wide receiver Margin Hooks, NFL skills. Jonathan Pittman, over 17.5 per catch in his career. Tavita Ofahingawe is a good tight end in the middle of the field, about 15 yards from the line of scrimmage and in.
Already.
They're trying to confuse Peterson, who goes up top. Marcus Whalen, the freshman reserve tailback, just a step away from the first and 10 line. All the motion this way. Matkin throws on the run for a first down. The 40-yard line. For Justin Griffin, overthrown. Coverage on the play by Josh Lowe, the senior from Mesa, Arizona. 5 in the pattern on second down. The elusive Matkin ran into the old Courtney Lee, the left guard.
To eat the ball.
That's a tackle on number 74, Courtney Lee. 6'4", 346-pound left guard.
BYU showing some pressure again. They rush 4. Matkin elusive. Now some space to throw. Incomplete. Trying to come back for his tight end, Donald Lee. Almost went through the goalpost.
Tell me what you saw. I want to know what you saw. I know you didn't have time to throw the football, but did you see what you had to see? So they went through the progressions of looking for receivers and what he saw downfield. And the important part was that Charlie saw what he should have seen. He said, we'll give you some protection and you get the ball off. As long as you're seeing what you got to see, we'll be okay later on.
Bosco, the 84 national champion quarterback, the 13-0 Cougar team. Peterson's throw to the tight end, Doug Charlie, who takes it to the 25. It was the sophomore Josh Morgan, the free safety, who rode him out of bounds. 5 coming on 3rd and 5, and a first down toss to Margin Hooks. Across the 30-yard line. 1-0 at the half, came back, forced overtime, and beat Virginia 38-35 to their lone victory. The loss was the opening game, the Pigskin Classic, played on a, quote, neutral turf, unquote, losing to Florida State and Jacksonville 29-3. Peterson 2nd and 5. Nobody open. Finally finds Van Horton for a first down. That's a tough throw, and make many of those tonight, and we're going to see one of those go back the other way. First down.
Lee, I know what you're thinking here. Quarterbacks never throw back against their body like this, especially against a talented defense that can fly. As he comes here, he gets to the outside. He sees Horton sitting back in there, and that is very, very dangerous. And a lot of times, coaches will go crazy, even though he completes that.
Congratulations. Don't ever do it again.
Exactly. That's what he'll get on the film. That's what he gets in the film on Monday.
He gets it on the sideline as soon as he comes over and sees me.
Message from the coach and from Ben Horton, too. 2 first downs on this drive. A little Nathan with some room to run. 7 yards across midfield into the 48. Jason Clark was salivating, and the freshman came up to join 2 other Bulldog defenders. BYU quarterback. He injured an ankle, can't even pinpoint the play that had happened in the Air Force game last week. Played through the second half, but a high ankle sprain is keeping him out tonight. And they hope to get him back for the next game against UNLV in 9 days. So Robbie Bosco, the quarterback coach, has to coach Peterson through this one. McDonald bounces to the outside. First down to the 37.
State defense off balance.
Play 8 of the drive will be a first down out of the shotgun. From a half dozen Bulldogs, some time for Peterson. Hooks and Smoot.
So many different things, and surprised his first 2 plays with 9 and 10 guys stacked inside that they've still tried to play power football.
The reason they call it is they scored on that play the first time.
Here they got him spread out with 3 receivers.
Justin Griffith, the lone back. DeCenzo Miller, the tailback, is the receiver at the bottom of the screen. He's looking that way. Now in trouble. And brought down. Justin Enna, the linebacker. They perhaps called that an incomplete pass.
Not intentional grounding, it's because he was outside the pocket.
But they did call it an incomplete pass. So it is 5 yards closer for Westerfield's field goal. And Westerfield with an extra point size field goal has now made 1 in 6 consecutive games. And Mississippi State's on top 10-0. The play of the week in the 4th quarter. Fabulous view of the Wasatch Mountain after the dead ball foul. So out of the gun on first down. Peterson has his pass deflected and incomplete.
And, we had 2 unfortunate penalties. I mean, it just killed us. We had them stopped on the first drive, and number 9 lines up off sides. It's unbelievable, and we stop them on that down, and then we made a great play to get down inside the 20, and one of our wide receivers was in motion, and those 2 plays made all the difference. Otherwise, we're hanging in there pretty good right now. We just got to get something going offensively.
Peterson throws, touchdown! Jonathan Pittman. And they do get something going, 39 yards. They had 39 yards of total offense before that 39-yard touchdown pass. Owen Potchman on for the extra point. It's good. First career touchdown pass for Charlie Peterson.
That play works as the offensive line picks up the blitz. They give him enough time. They've been pressuring and pressuring. Finally, they gave him enough time, and he hit it. Great blocking by the offensive line was the reason why that was a touchdown play.
Good job by the backs also to pick up the blitz.
Madkin right to the air with time and delivers to his tight end, Donald Lee. Wayne Madkin, touchdown! 56 yards, he's over 100. And we're only 2 minutes into the second quarter. To the Springs to take on Air Force, and ahead they go to the Carrier Dome at the end of this month to play Syracuse. BYU conference game had to be moved up into what was going to be a dark date last Saturday. Margin hooks down to the 25 for the first down. So that hurt them. But what also hurt them is they chose to add the Pigskin Classic against Florida State at the start of the season, knowing the schedule is already going to be tough. And 4 games in 19 days, there's got to be a price you pay. You make a lot of money to get a game like that, but there's also a price you pay, and we're seeing some of that here tonight. Tough on the players, tough on the coaches. First down run for Brian McDonald.
Way to defense is instinct and understanding of what the
sun setting on the Wasatch Mountains, the western base of the Wasatch, part of the Rockies. We're in the heart of the Utah Valley here in Provo. What a gorgeous city. As clean a city as you can find in America.
I wanted to show you guys.
Yes, sir.
Robert Redford watching the game from up there.
Sundance?
Yeah, it's Sundance up there.
You got to take us up there next time we come back, Lee, in October. Told us what an enjoyable time it is there. 3rd and 13. Here's the pig. Prather with another sack. I missed it. Report Linda Cohen with those stories ahead. Look at that. Is that beautiful?
Oh, man.
Gosh. Beautiful part of the world if you've never been here. 45 minutes south of Salt Lake City, Provo, Utah. Broken up by Eugene. 2nd and 5 for a first down. 6 for BYU's second touchdown of the night. A yard short, Michael Whalen, the freshman from Waldorf, Maryland.
It's a highly recruited player they got from Waldorf, Maryland. Like said it, 6 foot, 200-pounder.
2 tights, 1 for a first down, 2 for a touchdown. Whalen in the end zone. Peterson needs to take a timeout. It's the frustration for Robbie Bosco. 1 chance left to stop the clock. Bootsmack.com that fans have clipped and saved his best trash talking. Margin Hooks is a broadcast journalism major who's also proud of his verbal prowess. They both can back it up with some play. Peterson's looking that way, and here's Hooks. And a flag on Smoot. Joe Lee. Wearing socks tonight, Lee. McDonald. Touchdown. They say he broke the play. Penalty. Golfer Johnny Miller, basketball star Danny Ainge, and Philo T. Farnsworth, one of the fathers of television among the BYU alumni. It's a game that would have to happen in the next few minutes. Senzo Miller runs on 3rd down, and he's stopped at the 23. And the clock. There's very little sand left on it.
I think one of the things that hurt Charlie and all.
By the way, he's ended up with a pretty good night tonight. I know he's not going to be happy with the results, but he's ended up with a pretty good night. Hopefully help him with confidence down the road, but here he just looks downfield, getting more comfortable in the pocket, finds Pittman in the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars.
But he's back in the game, and he is their go-to guy on offense. He makes a lot of things happen, and just a good quality kid.
Consider him present and accounted for in the pro set. Now Sharps in motion. Scott on 2nd down. It is complete to Ike Chukwu, and he's got enough if you consider his forward progress for the first down. Ike Bernie Maryland, the Big East Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago.
Line of the Temple Owls, and they realize they have their backs to the wall, the ball inside the 15-yard line. Hey, this is a tough area right here. We got to get tough, guys.
3 wide receivers now for Scott on the Bowling Green 15 with Sharps the lone setback. And it goes to Sharps on the draw. He's got room. He's got the first down, and in fact, he has the touchdown. A 15-yard scamper by the woozy but effective Tenardo Sharps.
I don't believe that guy is too woozy. I mean, this guy has got the bug shaken out. You can see he's taking a stutter step to his right, cutting back across the green there, just looking for one thing, and that's the pylon in the end zone. Chad Long, the strong safety from Bowling Green, just didn't have the speed to chase down Tenardo.
Cap Pokelemba, the sophomore, And to tack on the extra point.
So nice. There's nothing the matter with that guy now. Run the ball here with just 2nd and 1.
On the Bowling Green 45. Scott will go to the air. He'll go deep for Dillard, who's got it for a touchdown. Dillard and Ken Dobbs had a 50-50 chance, and Dillard got the extra half step, 46 yards in all, the scoring strike. And the Owls lead at 13.
Up, slowing down, looking, falling off to the right. Beautiful concentration into the end zone.
And Scott now 7 for 9 passing.
Temple Football 2000. Big time football. Big time fun.
Join the Owls for their Big East opener against West Virginia Thursday, September 28th at Franklin Field. For tickets to Big Time.
Remembered as the free fall on the farm.
Steve, I'm so impressed, not only with the play of Durrani Pitts, him laying it out for the Cardinal, but Chris Lewis has shown a great maturity tonight, under fire against a tough defense. Great poise, great leadership, delivering the ball on time, and then Pitts coming in to the end zone. Who else is happy? Tiger, there. And if they convert this first down, they got to hurry up and get lined up, Steve. They only got 38 seconds left.
The ball game right here. Blitz. Incomplete. Wow. The Cardinal
did just play with a lot of emotion tonight, Steve. Credit Tyrone Willingham and his staff for having a great game plan. They halted Texas right in their footsteps and really forced them into some tough plays.
It was knocked out in the
college football Saturday. It was first stop Knoxville, where the 11th ranked Volunteers had their 23-game home string snipped by number 6 Florida 27-23. Jesse Palmer's 3-yard pass to Jabbar Gaffney was ruled a touchdown with 14 seconds left. Stanford shocked 5th-ranked Texas 27-24. Freshman quarterback Chris Lewis filled in for an injured Randy Fasani and threw 3 touchdowns. 14th-ranked UCLA received a 236-yard, 2-touchdown passing performance from Ryan McCann in a 23-20 upset of number 3 Michigan. Number 4 Wisconsin needed overtime to avenge last year's loss to Cincinnati 28-25. Eddie Faulkner scored the game winner from 16 yards out. Irish kicker Nick Setta booted a 38-yard field goal in the game's waning moments to lift Notre Dame over Purdue 23-21. Number 2 Florida State had an easy time over North Carolina 63-14 the final. Chris Winkie got off for 4 touchdown passes. Number 8 Virginia Tech rocked Rutgers World 49-0. Quarterback Michael Vick had a huge day, passing for 105 yards, running for 104 more, and scoring on this unbelievable 8-yard scamper.
This little flip here for Jose Ochoa. We're tied at 10. 4 seconds left in the game now. The Sun Devils, Mike Barth from 41. This for the win. And it is right down the middle. Arizona State wins 13-10. Sun Devils 2-0 for the first time since 1997. Colorado State fell to 0-15 all-time in Tempe.
First quarter scoreless until Rashard Bartholomew takes it 25 yards for the score, 7-0 Yale. Now 21-0 Yale. First play of the second half. Bartholomew 40 yards down the right sideline for the touchdown. 28-0 Yale to become the first school to win 800 games. Bartholomew 201 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ole Miss, Vandy. Late in the third, Deuce from McAllister running left, falls hard on his shoulder as he goes out of bounds. We take another look. McAllister would leave of the game and was diagnosed with a bruised right shoulder. He did rush for 143 yards in the day, his 11th career 100-yard rushing game as the Rebels win. Penn State at Pittsburgh at the half. A Pitt band member losing his feet there. Drummers are supposed to have rhythm. The Pitt football team, they had everything together, though. Third quarter, John Turman to Rod Rutherford. First career collegiate reception is a good one. He won't stop until he has enough. 62 yards would be sufficient for the touchdown. 9-0 Panthers. Pittsburgh wins the last scheduled meeting between these two schools, 12-0. Penn State now 1-3 on the season. Indiana at Kentucky, fourth quarter. 2 minutes left, tied at 34. Antoine Randall L. stripped of the ball. Matt Leal recovers for Kentucky and goes 21 yards into the zone. Kentucky beats Indiana 41-34.
On his feet, and then Curtis Nettles can't get him twice. And Smith trying to make something happen. What a move by Steve Smith. He's still on his feet. Cox, the only man who has a chance, and he will not get him. Touchdown, Steve Smith.